Senator Keneally.
Thank you very much, Acting Deputy President. I rise to make a short contribution on the Social Services and Other Legislation Amendment Coronavirus Other Measures Bill 2020. I acknowledge that my colleague Senator Dodson has responded comprehensively to the legislation, as has my colleague Senator Polly, and I associate myself with and endorse their remarks. I would like to speak specifically to one aspect of the bill, and that is the changes that the bill introduces in relation to the stillborn baby payment and the bereavement payment. In doing so, I rise as a member of the Senate Select Committee on Stillbirth Research and Education, acknowledge the fellow members of that committee on a bipartisan basis and the bipartisan report that was delivered to this chamber, the first set of national recommendations in terms of preventing and reducing stillbirth in Australia. The measures that are in this legislation were actually not part of the Senate Select Committee specifically, but arose after the committee delivered its report. And I'd like to acknowledge Senator Katrina Billick, who participated in the inquiry, for bringing this matter first to my attention and then to Labor's Shadow Minister for Health, Chris Bowen's attention, and then with the support of the Labor opposition, the work that we did in discussing the matter with the Minister and Senator Ruston. And I'd like to acknowledge Senator Ruston for her reception, her interest and her support for ensuring that parents of stillborn babies are treated as parents. That is, if parents have a stillborn baby, they are still parents. A mother still gives birth. She goes through labour and delivery. The mother and the baby's father still have responsibilities as parents towards that child, and the mother and the father both need to grieve. They need to receive counselling and support, and the mother needs to recover physically from birth. And I think for a very long time, and I apportion no blame in making this statement, that many people have misunderstood that parents of stillborn babies are actually parents. And that they go through birth, delivery, recovery from birth, and then the need to make decisions regarding things like autopsies, cremations, funerals. There is financial impact on a family. Sometimes there is a loss of hours at work, a loss of a job. We heard terrible stories in the Senate Select Committee in terms of people who were simply unable to work for very long periods of time. One family told us a story of how they in fact lost their business because they could not continue. And yet we had a support system, again, across decades and governments of both stripes that had in fact treated parents of stillborn babies not as parents or not as equally as parents. And the changes that the Minister is introducing here today in relation to the stillborn baby payment and the bereavement payment ensure that parents of stillborn babies are treated in the same way and supported in the same way as parents of babies whose child has died perhaps one moment after birth or just moments after birth. And I also acknowledge that the legislation makes a change to supporting parents who have more than one stillborn baby to ensure that they receive equal support. And again, in the Senate Select Committee heard very sad stories, particularly one couple who came before us, Bonnie and Stephen Carter, who lost both of their daughters, Grace and Matilda. And Bonnie has been a tremendous advocate for ensuring that parents of stillborn babies receive support and that Australia does what it can do to prevent this tragedy from happening again. So I'd like to thank the Minister and acknowledge her support for this legislation, and I'd like to thank the senators, including the Senator Waters, who spoke just now in support of the measures that are within this bill, and I look forward to what I hope will be its passage through this Parliament.